missing. We need to see the value chain clear. So the first reaction, which I was able to pick from my colleagues, the people that I spoke to, was that, look, you have experts in the financial space, because this is what I've been saying. And they're agreeing that, look, we have experts in the financial space who can actually teach or come and share various financial models that can be used. The issue, Angel, is where do Zambians come in? Okay, if you are earning $100,000 per annum in America, and you feel that part of your money can be used to invest back home, you must find systems already in place for Zambian ownership or Zambian participation in key sectors. Yeah. So their perception is that much hasn't been done. Much hasn't been done to be able to put the diaspora together, to be able to say, guys, from what you are earning in where you are,
come invest.
Mule tuma kwa akanono ku Zambia a bit akanono ka kwa tikale afuirishako to come and invest locally. So there must be a structured way. It's now up to us who are who are doing policy formulation to be able to discuss in Parliament, how do we harness this huge potential that the diaspora presents.
But there's will from Zambians living abroad to want to invest in the Zambian economy.
The willingness is there in the real estate space, in basically all the key sectors. They want to invest. What they want is, can it be more structured? You want, when you send your money back home, you are certain that your money is safe. You know, we had stories in the old days where people are sending money back home to build a house or something, then people are scamming them locally. So if government can find a way to step up, design models, engage the financial experts. And this has been my argument in Parliament, that the reason why foreigners invest in the mining sector is purely because they come with a well-structured financial model from where they are coming from. If you're coming from China, there's money that the Chinese government is giving their investors to come and invest here. If you're coming from different parts of the country, of the world, they are structured models. So for me, the core I'll take to Parliament, based on my experiences, is that can we structure something that gives our colleagues who are in the diaspora the confidence? They have the money, not a lot of money, but if they put the money together, Angel, I'm confident that they can chip in. They know where the opportunities lie.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to the topic of discussion this morning. The President on Friday addressed Parliament. He officially opened the 13th session the 5th session of the 13th National Assembly. Parliamentary terms. 5th session of the 13th National Assembly on Friday last week. And it was quite an interesting speech that he gave out. And Zambians, of course, were eager to listen to what the president would say on different sectors that are affecting them. And I think for this particular conversation, we may restrict our conversations around the mining sector, agriculture. We'll look at youth empowerment, and also would love to get your reaction with the energy crisis that the country is currently facing. But since we've already started it on the mining sector, let's get to the mining sector and some of those pronouncements that he made. But generally, before we get into the tiny bit of this particular sector, let me first start with things that you're expecting the president to address that he did not address in this sector, before I get to the points and some of the pronouncements that were made into this sector.
Undermining.
Yeah, undermining.
Okay, let's start with mining. So the president talked about the goal. The goal is to get 3 million tons of copper out of all the mines put together in 1 year. Now currently we're doing below 1 million tons of copper. So the president emphasized that we are still determined as a country to get to 3 million. What I didn't pick, what was missing in the speech by the president was how do we link the new resource which has been identified. You are aware that the president made reference to the geophysical mapping, trying to know where the minerals are. So now when the minerals are identified, and your target is 3 million, what I was expecting the president to say is that based on our projection of 3 million tons per annum, which is not 3 million cumulative, not to no mwaka mwapangako 3 million per annum. Every year we have to get 3 million out. Every year 3 million, 3 million, 3 million, meaning that in 10 years we should be able to get to 30 million tons of copper.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't hear the linkage now to the conversations I've been having in Parliament. Christopher Kang'ombe has been saying at FQ it's Zambian engineers running the mines. They are employed by a company called First Quantum Minerals under Kansanshi. You go to Kalumbila, it's Zambians working in that mine, okay? You go to Mopani, it's Zambian engineers. These are old colleagues, classmates from university who have studied mining, geology, electrical, mechanical. So what I didn't hear from the president is the emphasis on where do we place Zambians in the ownership structure, okay? I didn't hear the president, because when you want to do 3 million tons, it sounds exciting. It sounds exciting that government to say, look, when we identify the new mines, because Kansanshi is already Kansanshi, it's already owned by First Quantum.
Yeah.
Lomwana is already owned by Barrick. So we will not change the ownership structure. And I want to be on record, because some people have been saying, no, Christopher has been suggesting that we grab the mines. No, no, no. I've not been suggesting that we grab the mines. For me, my emphasis has been, we're doing the geophysical mapping. We want to know where the new minerals are. So once we know where the new minerals are, there is what is called exploration. So I didn't hear the president emphasize, where do we place Zambians in the exploration? Because by Angel, if you don't own the exploration data, how much minerals you have in a specific area, exploration takes 5-6 years. You are just digging, you are just drilling, trying to know how many minerals you have, how much, to what extent your minerals are existing. So the president was emphasizing FDI, Kansanshi, $1.2 billion, S3 project, Lumwana Super Pit project. These are things that we already know, Your Excellency. We already know that the big mines are already making those pledges, and I'm calling them pledges, okay? But what about the new mines that are being discovered, the new sites? Where do we place Zambians in terms of ownership, okay?
So are you also for the, so sorry to cut you short, are you also for the idea that in as much as we have these establishments, the big mines, Lumwana, KCM and everything, after we're done with this geological survey,
yes,
every perhaps maybe mineral, could be copper, gold, diamonds, these ones should be left now to be owned by Zambians. Are you for that particular school of thought? Because I've also heard a lot of mining experts that after whatever is being done, geological survey, everything discovered should be owned or should be run by Zambians. Well, are you for that school of thought?
So I hold the thought, I hold the view that we must structure some form of partnership model, okay? So for instance, when the mapping has been done, we know where the minerals are, okay? We've scanned using aerial mapping. What we should then do now is government should invest in exploration. Okay, right now, Angel, what happens, and to help Abale Kutika Kumulabasa, exploration means you know that in this part of Zambia, there must be some minerals, but you don't know to what extent the minerals are existing. So what do you need to do? You need to get money to pick the samples, take them to the lab, and then dig. You dig, you know to what extent, to what depth are the minerals existing, so that you know if it makes economic sense to then do what is called mineral development. So you've asked me an important question. Do you hold the view that we should own the next set of mines that are coming up? My view is that ZCCMIH gets a lot of money from dividends from all these mines. They have shares in Kansanshi, they have shares in Lumwana. So the money they are getting, why can't we invest in exploration data? We are the ones who do the exploration. Because currently, about the exploration, they have the patience to dig because it's a bit costly. So if government did the exploration, then we'll be able to say these mining licenses we are giving to foreign companies, and I'm talking about large-scale mining, then we can structure a model, then we can go to the Lusaka Stock Exchange, then we can issue mining bonds where we say, Zambians, can you invest your money? Individually, you can't do it, but if we put money together, different Zambians, $100,000, $10,000, Angel, what we need is to pull money together and then find the experts. Do we have experts in the mining sector? I think I've spoken on different fora that Zambians have experts. So if you ask me, what was missing in the speech by the president? The targets sound okay over a long period of time. I didn't hear the president link these these mining targets, the 3 million tons of copper. I didn't see the president link these to how do we ensure Zambians play a key role. He, however, talked about small-scale and artisanal mining, which again is something I've spoken about in Parliament. My thoughts have been, if you've discovered gold in Mufumbwe, and I know last week government was giving out licenses to different small-scale miners. I wanted to hear one very key aspect, which is the challenge I've posed to Honorable Kabuswe and I've posed to the Permanent Secretary. What is the extent of Mufumbwe mine? Okay? Because if we have given out 200 cooperatives, how much land is remaining which has minerals which has not yet been allocated to anyone? Because an artisanal mining license should have location. If we alango kutila, license number 1 license number 2 So my question to the Minister of Mines as he comes to debate the speech, because it's us the backbenchers who will start the debate. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Me, I'll debate first. I want to debate first because I'm already ready to debate. I'll ask government, out of the 200 licenses you've given in Kasempa, Mufumbwe for small-scale and artisanal miners, how much land has remained which requires exploration, which requires mining activity? Could you kushele, if it's 200 hectares and you've only given out 100 hectares, 100 hectares, mwashila banani? Those are things. So I wanted the president to be clear that, look, as we give Zambians first priority on artisanal and small-scale mining, can we also ensure that we guarantee that the whole area will be for local people? Lastly, I didn't hear the president talk about local content. Okay, what is local content? Local content is what I debated last year in Parliament. That, look, if Kansanshi is giving out $1 billion of business, okay, to suppliers and contractors, a certain percentage should be for local people. Because suppliers are complaining that we still have certain goods and services only being procured by foreign entities. Because in the value chain, there's supplying and contracting business. At Mopani, we've got suppliers and contractors who want to supply pumps, they want to supply PPE, they want to supply food. I didn't hear the president I want the president to be strong on these key issues. And you see, when we raise these issues here, where you've invited me today, we want the best for Zambia, okay? I mean no malice. I want to have the clarity of thought which I would want the president to also have. I expected that the people that were drafting this speech, because these speeches are drafted by cabinet office, by office of the president, they will draft. They should have also included aspects that are concerning our people at the moment. Suppliers in Kansanshi, suppliers in Mopani, they want more business. And I'm saying quantum, okay, if $1 billion is for procuring goods and services, how much of that $1 billion is going to go to Zambians? So for me, I didn't hear those strong views on ownership by Zambians, on participation of Zambians in the value chain. We wanted stronger views by His Excellency the President. And I think it's work in progress. Our role is to remind government that we could get more out of these mining companies.
Yeah, now the President also said out of the over 1,400 licenses that were issued to small-scale miners, 71% was in the area of gold. Now, there has been conversations that, Honorable, in as much as we are going to talk about 3 million tons of copper per year, there's something that we're sitting on that we are not paying attention to. Do you think we're not paying attention to this mineral resource called gold? Or perhaps we're just new to it and we haven't really seen the maximum benefits that we can get from this particular mineral?
Well, you're aware that
we've been accustomed to copper.
We've been accustomed to copper, but you'll be shocked or excited to learn has done something different. Okay, in the old days, Ghana used to do gold mining the way we've been doing it. Anyone can come into Zambia, set up a gold mine somewhere, dig out the gold and export the gold. That's what used to happen in Ghana. Yet Ghana is known as the Gold Coast. So Ghana decided close to 25 tons of gold in our reserves. So why have we focused on copper? Why have we focused? Maybe Zambia has been known for copper mining, but there are these other precious minerals that we've can't write this speech. It's a big document. It's the guys from finance, it's the guys from mines, it's the guys from energy who then tell His Excellency, Your Excellency, the policy on here is this. Then the president will go through and be certain that this is what he believes in. So the people that were helping His Excellency draft this speech and prepare it, I think on the issue of mining, next time His Excellency comes, should emphasize more on the aspect of how much of those licenses we are issuing, okay, will actually, not those smaller licenses. Yes, we are happy some licenses are being given to young people. I'm on record as Christopher Kang'ombe asking the minister how many licenses were issued, and I think in 2 years, 1,400 licenses were issued to young people. But you see, these licenses end up being sold. You know, you can sell a mining license. Angel, if you own a mining license and you have no money to operate a mine, you can sell it. And that is why, for me...
And the president is very much against that.
Yes.
He actually talked
about it. So my appeal to His Excellency and the team in Cabinet is that there's a provision in the law called Artisanal Mining Fund. There's actually money. But license. Or support them with equipment to do the actual mining. So I was expecting that the president would also instruct the Minister of Mines and the Minister of Finance to quickly conclude on modalities for financial support to artisanal miners. Why should I be given a license yet I don't have the equipment to do the mining? What will I do? I'll end up selling the mine. And that is why, for me, emphasis should have been made by the principal as he was addressing us in Parliament, that beyond just issuing a license, we are also putting together a fund in the 2026 budget. There will be a line that will represent funding to small-scale miners. Of course, Angel. You know, if you give people money, there will be challenges also with how the money is used. Let's buy equipment for them. And then let's see how we can get these nice minerals you are referring to out. The minerals will then be sold to the Zambia Gold Company, which is similar to the Ghanaian Gold Board, and then the Zambian Gold Company can take the gold and these other special minerals to Bank of Zambia.
Let's also maybe lastly on this on mining, because it's like a coin. On the other side, others argue that maybe perhaps, in as much as we've been calling for Zambian ownership of these mines, but maybe perhaps, and I want you to correct this narrative, maybe perhaps we're just not grateful. They talk about how that even you, as Honorable Member of Parliament for Kamfinsa, you've been a beneficiary of the good works that these mining companies have done on the copper belt. It could be KCM, it could be Mopani. We've seen the good works that FQM has done, Kalumbila, Lumwana, Kansanshi, and the other mining companies that have been set up. And top of the agenda that we hear is jobs. They do these health facilities.
They pay taxes.
They pay taxes and everything. But also when you flip the coin on the other side, other scholars are saying we as Zambians have to be, you know, it's not just about the mines. It's just not about the jobs. It's not about the taxes. But we should also strive to make Zambians be millionaires, be billionaires.
And that has been my message
from these mining assets or minerals. So where does the coin flip? You know, where is the weight?
Okay,
is it we on us being grateful for the jobs and the good work that they do, or perhaps time now has come for us to be innovative, to think outside the box, to say, look, the mining companies have done all they could, but now it's time for us to start making our own billionaires through ownership of these mines.
And that is where the new mines come in, because it will be difficult for us to go and change the ownership structure at KCM. It will be difficult for us to go and change the ownership structure at Lubambe Mine, at Mopani, because these are They are called developmental agreements. These are long-standing agreements, investment pledges made. So we can't go and disrupt how the ownership structure is done. What we can, however, do, we have an opportunity, we have new mines that have been identified. There is mapping that is taking place. My challenge to government, to answer to your question, is that using the new resource that has been identified, we know where the minerals are. We know where the copper is, the new copper, not the copper that has already been exploited. Why can't we create new millionaires who are Zambians, okay?
Yeah.
Why can't we go into, why can't we engage different financial experts and be able to say, colleagues, how much does it take to do exploration? Okay, government will say, okay, this government will own the exploration data, will invest $10 million in exploration. After we do the investment, once the data has been secured, we will then identify only Zambians. We'll be able to say how many Zambians in Zambia can pool money together, because individually you can't. But if we put $1,000, this one $1,000, we go to the Lusaka Stock Exchange to raise money. Angel, why do people go to Lusaka Stock Exchange? It's to raise capital, okay? Yeah. How did CEC on the Copper Belt manage to raise $200 million last year? They issued what is called a green bond. A green bond is an instrument where we'll set up solar plants on our own as CEC, and then we'll be paying you back money every 6 months as a coupon. What am I trying to say, Angel? It is possible to create new millionaires in Zambia by ensuring that the new opportunities, I am a mine, I'm not talking about mines that are already owned by any foreign entity. I'm saying there is mapping taking place. The next stage is exploration. Government should own that data. Once government owns that data, then it will be possible for us to be able to say, can we identify Zambians who are willing to invest in mining? ZCCMIH, can you issue a bond, okay, on the Lusaka Stock Exchange where Zambians, can you issue a bond, or can you offload shares, invite people to invest money so that Zambians then will be able to say, we own this new mine in Northwestern Province, not disturbing what is already ongoing, but the new mines that have been established. To answer your question, Angel, it is possible for government to structure new mining ownership models, and we structure financial models that can support the creation of millionaires.
So how would you rate pronouncements or addresses in the mining sector out of 10? What are you giving the score?
Out of 10.
Before we move to the agriculture sector.
Out of 10. Well, just above average, I think.
Above average, you're talking of 4,
above average.
5?
So 10 is the total.
Yeah.
5 is the average. So above average.
So 6,
for me.
So 5.5.
5, yeah, we can say 6. but my point remains, I want in the next speech, because the president is coming back to Parliament, I think when you'll be talking about values and principles next year, I want the president now to take the conversation to the aspect of ownership. That is where, Your Excellency, that is where I want you to, for me, that's the issue.
The issue is on ownership.
Because it answers your query. Your query was, mines pay taxes. Your query was that mines do a few things, corporate social responsibilities.
Jobs.
They are sponsoring football clubs, Kansanshi Dynamos, No, that's not enough. For me, it's not like we are ungrateful. No, our resource is being exploited. The fact that our resource is being exploited beyond taxation, beyond jobs being created for our people, we'll let those things be because they're already standing. For me, I want us to go to the new mines. Okay, I don't want to be a disruptive leader who people will say, well, this is a mine. No, we will not grab the mines from you. If I was president today, I wouldn't advocate for the grabbing of any mine that is already, that has to come out of the mines for them to service these loans they borrow elsewhere.
Yeah.
For me, the emphasis is
about how jobs of producers, not just traders, consumers, then also most importantly, said, look, 3.7 million metric tons of maize that has been produced. FRA now is looking at a situation where they may need to buy
they've only
majority.
bought 1.2.
They've only bought
1.2
1.2 million, but they're looking at a situation because there's so much maize of them buying over this, and perhaps the surplus is going to be sold for business.
Yeah.
Business has to continue. But let me get your submissions in the agriculture sector. What impressed you, and perhaps maybe some things that you felt lacked in the agriculture sector?
Well, this is an ongoing conversation. Again, Christopher Kang'ombe is on record. I'm on record in Parliament. I took a proposal to Parliament asking government